You're listening to 2 Pints with Will and Ralph, the Swift Half. Well, I'll tell you what before we sort of kick anything off, I think it's worth saying that if you're listening to this or you're watching it, chances are at the start of this, you heard us do a little intro saying, this is in partnership, this is an advertisement for BetterHelp online therapy. And, we have to sort of, those are reasons when people partner with us on our podcast, it means that, we get a little bit of money and we talk about who we've partnered with.
And we advertise their company.
We advertise their company, exactly. You know the drill. But you always feel quite lucky, particularly if you're getting to. I mean, we would tend not to advertise something that we really didn't believe in. We'd rather not do that. But when you get something that you really do believe in, it always feels like it's less of an advertisement, and it's kind of something that's well worth talking about. And on that note, before we move on, BetterHelp. They're getting some extra advertising from me here, but because I feel like it's a great service. I mentioned in our little ad that someone very, very close to me recently, for the first time in their life, went, I think I need to figure some stuff out. But in this country, probably a little bit less of a cultural thing. In America, therapy's everywhere, but in this country, possibly slightly harder to access and understand where even to begin without getting a referral or anything like that. But BetterHelp, I'd never heard of it till about 2 months ago, until this conversation between me and this person happened, and now they're using it, and they've been matched by the app with a therapist, and things are going really well, and it's a fantastic service. So I don't know, what a pleasure it is to actually partner with a company where you're like, yeah, they're really valuable. So if you are looking for some therapy, have a look at the app. Yeah. And even if you just want to dip into it and see what it's like.
I think it's a strange conversation to have with this. I don't know what it is about people in this country, or whether it is like that, or whether it's just me, but I've been speaking about it for a while with my family. My wife's been saying to me, you should go and speak to somebody. Just because my head's all over the place all the time. Yeah. I can have quite highs and lows, and I feel like I'm constantly chasing something. I feel like I'm never settled. Yeah. I felt like that, and I've sort of put that down as my drive. Yeah. That's how I get up and go.
100%.
But
is there an anxiety to that?
I'm never. What's the word when you never content?
Yeah, never satisfied.
I'm never just. I can never just sit and go content. I'm always thinking I should be doing something. I should be, and that's an anxiety thing. But it's also, the older I get, the more I feel like I'm running out of time. It's weird. It's like I'm chasing something I can't catch. Yeah. So, and I've never sort of spoke to anybody about it. And yeah, I've been through ups and downs, but everyone sort of goes through that, and that's where you sort of rationalise things. You're ready to go, well, I've got nothing to complain about. I'm all right. Yeah. And then
it's easy, isn't it? To go, everything's fine. I'm working. My kids are healthy. Blah blah. But it's not as simple as that. It's what your mental processes are.
What I keep putting to the back of my mind, and what I keep pushing to the side, going, that's fine. Don't think about that. Yeah. Don't worry about that. Yeah. But really, I should think about that, and maybe I should talk about that. Yeah. And I want to sort of say, this is not advertising anything, but it is better to talk, and it is, and I am thinking about, I am going to, I promised my wife, I said, I will speak to somebody, because if it makes my life better, it makes everyone else's life around me better. If I'm more settled in myself, then I'm not as hard on myself. I beat myself up about everything, and I'm all right, but I still constantly, I beat myself about stuff that was years ago. That can't change. Now, sure, I said to my missus, I was like, but what do I say in these meetings? What we should go, what's wrong with you? I'll say nothing, I'm all right. You know what I mean?
100%.
So it's just like, but that's the whole point. Yeah. They know how
to find somebody who will get it out of you, and you'll feel comfortable with, and you'll start. And you never know what avenue you're going to go down.
And this is God's honest truth. So and this is sort of a new year thing for me. Is I am hopefully going to sort me nuts out.
So, what, you're going to go and speak to someone?
Yeah. I am. I have to.
Hey.
I have to. Listen,
honestly,
I'm not saying I'm depressed or anything like that, but my head has been for a long time, and I've just put it down to it's just me.
There's definitely a thing where I think, again, in this country, we're like, if you're having a crisis or something's really terrible, maybe you need to get some therapy. But actually, what you're talking about is going, things are all right, you're doing okay. Yeah. But actually, somebody once said to me, it's a little bit like, well, sometimes you go to the gym, even when you're in good shape. Yeah. And it's just no reason to view it any differently than that.
That's a good way of
Mate,
looking at it.
So full disclosure to anyone watching this, just before we started this, because we knew we were going to talk about BetterHelp, because we were doing you said to me, yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to use it because I'm going to go and see someone. And I hope this isn't a patronising thing. I'm so proud of you. I think that's amazing. I actually give you a big hug. I can't. Fuck it. I'm going to do it again. Come on. I think it's amazing. I really do. Come on.
Hang on, we're hugging.
Come
Thanks, mate.
Good for you, man. It's fucking great. It really is.
It's do you know what? It's I don't want to make a big deal of it. It is what it is.
No,
and
it's
if,
great.
if it helps me and it helps my family and it helps my head to settle.
Well, I have briefly
Helps me
talked
sleep
about it
as
in an
a-
interview a couple of years ago. I did a few sessions over a period of time, and I'm not at the moment, but for the exact same reason. It was like, we've also hit an age, like we're legit middle aged now, mate. There's no getting away from it, and people know us from when we were two young lads, right? And yeah, you start asking all sorts of existential questions, like what does it mean? You're well aware of your own mortality. You start to think about your parents' mortality. You lost your dad and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I just think, I think it's great. I think it's a great, a bold, not a brave choice by you. Brave is probably the wrong word, but it's a really intelligent choice and a really. I just think
well,
great for you, mate.
What's the worst that can happen? I mean, I think there's a time when you get to a certain point, you go, man, stop being so, like, I'm fine. You know what I mean? I am fine. Yeah. But I know I could be better.
Exactly.
I don't sleep very well because my head doesn't stop.
Yeah, and maybe you can just find that nice, relaxed, more
someone
relaxed,
might be able to turn
contented
the
level.
voices off.
Or reduce them down from 74 voices to 22 at least.
But it is just a part of me, and I celebrate that side of me as well. But if it helps me, then why not? Let's have a go, see what happens.
Well, good for you. I think it's great. And anyone out there? Your man, he's talking about it. He's doing it. Like we've talked on this before about mental health's really important. It's good to talk. We've both believed in those things and really said them, and they matter. But that's also a sort of very vague idea. Yeah, mental health matters and whatever. But this is a very specific thing of going. Be encouraged. It's happening. Like you're doing it.
It's like if you're autistic or you got Asperger's or whatever. There's a massive wide spectrum of mental health. You don't have to be deeply depressed or on the edge of suicide to go and speak to somebody. Sometimes you just might need to sort out your chain of thought and how you get through your day.
Well, what I found was that stuff that like I had never I sort of hit an age. It was a couple of years ago. I just hit an age and just weird things that was leaking out into my thought processes or just I don't know. It's hard to explain, but things like I don't know. I'd sat. I didn't have anything to do in a particular day, and I had realised I hadn't left the house, and I had just played PlayStation all day, and I was still in my pants, and I hadn't eaten anything. Right now, that's not me going, and things were really terrible. I had a great day. I loved it. It was like, this is great. I'm living. But I was also a bit like, you just reach an age and you go in. I just want to It's almost like for me, it felt like. There's a load of building blocks of the way I thought about stuff, and it was like Tetris. They weren't quite fitting together well, and I just needed to kind of rearrange some stuff. Yeah. But whatever your reasoning for wanting to go, whether you're in a crisis or you just think it's worth talking to someone, what an actual nice thing to be able to actually advertise, although we're not getting paid for any of this, to be able to advertise something that you believe in. And I got to say, I think this at BetterHelp is a really, really important and great thing.
Listen, we're on a podcast. And what we're doing is talking. And it's good to talk.
Exactly.
That's what this is about.